Welcome with good wishes to all dear students in the lecture series of subject Mechanics of Solid. It's very important subject in your journey of engineering study. Today our lecture title is Determination of Support Reactions. This topic is covered under the module number 2 and topic number 3. Myself UM Thodakia and I will help you to learn this subject. As a civil engineer, it is very important to learn from live example. So before starting our lecture, here I would like to share this image shown in left hand side. Do you know that where that bridge is situated? Maybe some of you surprised. If I tell you it is the world's highest bridge situated in India. Yes, it's situated in India. Northern Railway. Northern Railway has undertaken the mega project of constructing a new railway line across the Indian Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir between the towns of Udhampur near Jammu and Baramulla on the northwestern edge of the Kashmir Valley. This project was declared a national project in 2002. It is directed by the Northern Railway. The most difficult part is believed to be the crossing of deep gorge of the Chenab River near the Salal Hydropower Dam by the Chenab Bridge. When completed, the bridge will span the Chenab River at the height of 359 meter, means 1178 feet above the river and making it the world's highest rail bridge. The bridge with the widest span in the Indian broad gauge railway network. So you are the people who belongs to this engineering branch which has played an important role to develop our nation India. So you should take pride for being a part of this branch. So let's start our lecture with the syllabus detail. Here is your syllabus detail and here I am showing the module number 2 and under the module number 2 there are two topics number 3 and 4. In the topic number 3 title is Applications of Fundamentals of Statics, Statically Determinate Beams, and under that title we will learn about types of load, types of support, types of beams, determination of support reactions, relationship between loading, shear force and bending moment and shear force diagrams, which is very important for beams subjected to only 3 types of load: concentrated load, uniformly distributed load, couples and their combinations. We also learn about point of contraflexures, point and magnitude of maximum bending moment and maximum shear stress. So in this lecture we content covered basics of statically determinate beams, types of load, types of supports and types of beam. As per our syllabus topic title, first you may question arrives, sir, what is beam and what is statically determinate beam or structure? And the answer is, beam is a structural member subjected to transverse load. Its length is large in compression with its cross-sectional dimensions. Beams are used in industrial buildings, multi-story complexes, industrial building, bridges, etc. Loads from the slab, floor, wall transferred to the column through beam. Due to loading on beam, reactions developed at the supports. Now let's learn second question, what is statically determinate beam or structure? If a structure is analyzed by just using equations of equilibrium at any point, that structure is known as statically determinate structure or say that statically determinate beam. The equations of equilibriums are sigma f of x is equal to 0, sigma f of y is equal to 0 and sigma m moment is equal to 0. Also in mathematical form we can say that the number of unknown forces is equal to number of equations, that means number of equilibrium equations. The beam is said statically determinate beam or statically determinate structure. In this slide you show two figure number A and B. In the first figure, here is one beam and supported by the two support at A point and B point. Some load is given on the beam and the span of the beam is L. At the point A, the support having a reactions, one is vertical and second one is horizontal. At support B, there is a one reaction. So here is there are four forces. Horizontal force is equal to 0 because no other horizontal force is present. So sigma f of x is equal to 0. Remaining two vertical. So that beam can be analyzed or can be solved the number of unknown forces by the number of equations. So that beam is known as statically determinate beam or statically determinate structure. Now in second figure there are three supports support the beam at point A, at point B and at point C having a span of beam is L. The support C is situated at the half length of the total beam. Also load is given on the beam. So at support A there are two reactions, one is horizontal, one is vertical. At C one vertical reaction is there and at point B also one vertical reaction is there. So here three vertical force and one horizontal force. So horizontal force is equal to 0. So sigma f of x is equal to 0. But we cannot solve remaining three forces by using the equilibrium equations. So that kind of beam is known as indeterminate beams or say indeterminate structures. In actual 3D structure, there are six kind of equilibrium equations. Consider sigma f of x is equal to 0, sigma f of y is equal to 0, sigma f of z is equal to 0 and sigma moment x is equal to 0. The moment in y direction sigma m of y is equal to 0 and sigma moment in z direction is equal to 0. But we are only considering here the sigma f of x is equal to 0, sigma f of y is equal to 0 and simply the sigma moment m is equal to 0. So let's learn types of load. A load in this concept refers to the forces acting on the structures and this is the reason this can be also known as structural loads. There are three types of load considered and enlisted below. Number 1, concentrated or point load. A load which is assumed to be acting at a single point on a beam is called point load or concentrated load. The unit of point load is Newton, kilonewton or ton. Its simple figure here is shown and it's a beam AB. These two are the reaction force RA, RB, reaction force at point A and reaction force at point B. Here the W1 and W2, these are the concentrated or point loads. Let's learn that point load with some example. In the second figure, a sphere is shown. So that sphere touches the beam at a point and so the load of that sphere acting on that beam considering as a single point load or concentrated load W kilonewton. In actual practice, it is not possible to apply a load at a point as it must have some contact area, but this area being so small in comparison with the length of the beam is negligible. The second one is uniformly distributed load represented by UDL. UDL is distributed uniformly over the entire length or a part length of beam. The unit of UDL is kilonewton per meter or ton per meter. UDL sometimes shown like this half sphere or the entire length of beam or some portion of the beam or sometimes it is shown like in rectangular format. Here is the weight per unit length. The total uniformly distributed load is assumed to be at the center of gravity of the load for all sorts of the calculation. Understand the procedure of converting UDL into point load with some simple example. Here is one beam with support by two support, and the UDL is applied on the beam in the length of 50 meter. Here is the length of 50 meter. The value of UDL is 20 Newton per meter. Now I want to convert this UDL into point load. So again, take a beam with two reaction force. Now just 20 multiply by the length covered by the UDL, that is 50. So that point load is 20 multiplied by 50. So is equal to 1000 Newton at a distance of 25 meter and 75 meter. Here is the example of UDL load, or say that uniformly distributed load. Two supports given. Here is that shaft is considering as a beam, and the uniformly distributed load of 800 Newton per meter in the length of 150 mm span of beam. So here how to convert that UDL into point load. In all these examples, in the structural analysis, we have to convert the UDL, uniformly distributed load, in the point or concentrated load. So for this UDL, convert into the point load just by multiplying the length or a span of beam in which the uniformly distributed load acts. So here 800 Newton per meter uniformly distributed load is given in the length of 150 mm of the beam. So here 800 Newton per meter multiplied by 0.150 meter. So the point load or concentrated load acts on this beam, that is 120 Newton at a distance of L by 2. So here 150 mm divided by 2, that is 75 mm. So adding this in 200 mm, so it's a 0.275 meter length, and the remaining is 0.125 meter length. Third type of load is uniformly varying load. Say UVL. UVL varies uniformly over the entire length or part of the length of beam. The unit of UVL is kilonewton per meter or Newton per meter or ton per meter. This type of load gradually increases or decreases on the length of the beam. It is also called triangular or trapezoidal load. Next one is a moving or rolling load. When the load is vary their place of application, they are termed as moving or rolling load, like load of trucks, bus, train or traffic, etc. Now let's learn how can we convert the UVL into point load. So here is the practical example is given in which the UVL is applying on the beam AE. The value of load is 600 Newton per meter, and the length of beam on which the UVL is acts, that is 3 meter. So it's simple to convert into the UVL into point load or concentrated load by multiplying 1 by 2 into the length on which the UVL acts, multiply by the value 600 Newton per meter. By mathematically simplifying, we get the 900 Newton point load at the distance 2 by 3 into the length at which the UVL acts from the point E, and 1 by 3 multiplied by the length on which the UVL acts from the point D. So that is 2 meter from E, and the 1 meter from point D. Also take the simple example of beam here, simply supported beam. The UDL acts in a length of 2 meter, having a 20 Newton per meter. Here the UVL triangular load acts, value of 10 Newton per meter. Here is the 1 meter and that span is 3 meter. So now we have to convert this UDL and UVL into the point load. So as I said earlier, for converting UDL into point load, just multiplying the value of UDL with the length. So here is 20 multiplied by 2, so that is 40 Newton. At half length 2 by 2, that is 1 meter. That UVL, for that here 1 by 2 into 10 into 3, say 15 Newton. At a distance 2 by 3 into L and 1 by 3 into L. So here is act at 2 by 3 into 3 and 1 by 3 into 3. So it's equal to 2 meter and 1 meter. So it is a 1 meter and 2 plus 1, it is a 3 meter. Now we are going to discuss types of supports and types of beam. What is support? A support is an element which bears the weight of beam and keep it upright. Simply we can say that it is a thing which keeps beam in equilibrium. Supports resist the movements due to external forces. Here two things keep in your mind, one is force and one is moment. Force. Each and every support will develop a force when it prevents the translation of the member. And second one, moment. Each and every support will develop a moment when it prevents the rotation of the member. So next we are going to discuss types of support. Though there are many types of supports for beam, yet the following 4 types of supports are important from the subject point of view. And so first one is a simple support. In this type of support, beam is simply supported on the support and there is no connection between beam and support. Here as shown in figure, one worker is working on the simply supported beam, say wooden plate supported by these 2 stand. Here no connection between this support and the beam on which the worker is working the plaster work. It is a symbol of simply support. Second one is a roller support. In this type of support, rollers are placed below the beam and beam can slide over the rollers. This type of supports is normally provided at the end of the bridge. Due to the braking forces of vehicle and temperature, bridge slab can slide over the roller support and damage to the beam here can be avoided. Here the practical example and the symbol of the roller support can shown in figure. The third one is a hinge support and fourth one is a fixed support. The symbol of the hinge support as shown in figure, and here is the practical example of hinge support. A door is given and with hinge at this 3 point. The beam can rotate about this hinge but cannot transfer in horizontal direction or in vertical direction. So that kind of support restrict the movement horizontal and vertical. Only it's allowed the beam to rotate about the hinge. Next one is a fixed support. The beam is completely fixed at the and on the wall or support, beam cannot rotate at the end. Here the practical example shown in the figure, there is a pole which is fitted in the concrete plate. Also some examples of types of supports is here. Here is the hinge support of the bridge. Only the rotating movement is allowed by the hinge support. Here is the roller supports of the bridge. Here is the hinge support of the door as we discussed. Here is the fixed support of the beam. The any kind of movement restricted by the support. The beam cannot move in horizontal, vertical direction or cannot rotate. Okay. Now moving to our next topic, how we are getting support reactions. Each and every supports will restrict some moment and some will allow the moments. When the supports restrict the moments due to external forces, reacting forces would be produced at the supports. There are three types of support reactions: vertical support reaction, horizontal support reaction and moments. It's very simple to remember that if the support restricting moment, there will be a reaction force, and if supports allowing moment, there will not be a reaction force. So let us discuss in detail how we are getting the support reaction of each type of support condition. First one is a simple support. Here, if the beam is supported by a simple support, the beam can move horizontally or it will be a rotate on the simple support, but beam cannot move in downward direction. So as I said earlier, if the support restrict the movement, here the support restrict the movement of the beam in downward direction, so there will be a reaction force. So for the simple support, there is only one reaction force, and in this in vertical direction. So it is said vertical reaction force or the simple support. Now second one is a roller support. The supports will resist vertical movement and allows horizontal as well as the rotational movement. Such a support is known as a roller support, and here the roller supports resist vertical movement and hence there will be a vertical reaction. There will not be a horizontal reaction and moment as it allows the horizontal movement and rotation. This type of support, rollers are placed below the beam and beam can slide over the rollers. The reaction will be perpendicular to the surface on which the rollers are supported. This type of supports is normally provided at the end of bridge due to the braking forces of vehicle and temperature. Third one is a hinge support. Here the supports allow the beam to rotate but restricts both horizontal movement and vertical movement. Due to this we get horizontal reaction and vertical reactions. The simple example of hinge support is door with the hinge. That hinge restrict the movement of the door in horizontal and vertical direction, only allow to rotate it freely. Now also I would like to share one basic practical example of hinge support. Suppose there is a paper which is pinned by a normal pin. So now what happened, that paper cannot move in horizontal and vertical direction. Only that pin, or can say that supports, allow the paper move freely in that rotating direction. So here two directions restricted by this support. Which one? Horizontally and vertically. So that means the reaction force is generated. Here is the vertical and the horizontal. The last one is fixed support. A fixed support which will resist vertical movement, horizontal movement and rotation. Such a support is known as fixed support, and so here horizontal reaction, vertical reaction and also moment as it resists horizontal, vertical moment and reactions. Moving to our next topic, types of beam, or here I am representing statically determinate beams. So first one is simply supported beam, second one is cantilever beam, and third one is overhanging beam. In simply supported beam, it's simply supported by the two support. The one is a simply support and second one is a roller support. In the cantilever beam, it is supported by also the two supports, but here the span of beam is shorter than the simply supported beam, and it is cantilever at this end. Next one is overhanging beam, which is only supported at this one end and it's free at this other end. These are the practical examples of simply supported beam. Here the man is working at the building construction site, is a simple support. There is a no contact between the beam and support. Also the another practical example of simply supported beam. The next is the statically indeterminate beam types. Number 1 is a continuous beam, number 2 is a propped cantilever beam, and number 3 is a fixed beam. So there are 6 type of beam. These are the practical examples of continuous beam and fixed beam. Here in this figure, in the structure member, this beam not allowed to move in any direction. That example of bridge of continuous beam, these are the continuous support of the beam. Also some another examples of types of beam, here the cantilever beam, continuous beam and overhanging beam. These are the methods of the reactions of a beam. The reactions at the two supports of beam may be found out by any one of the following two methods: analytical methods and graphical methods. The graphical method, it is a systematic but a very long method for finding out the reaction of beam, which is done by following two steps: construction of space diagram and construction of vector diagram. So it's the end of part 1. In the next part, we will solve the examples of the reaction of beam by using the analytical method. These are the reference books of this subject, mechanics of solid. So thank you for watching. Keep learning. Wish you good luck to all.